Yo, what is up, guys? SDFC bros. Welcome back to another match review. Carlos, it's another great day in San Diego, but it feels great. Why, Carlos?
Maybe it's because we won 5-0 on Saturday. Made up for all our losses.
Wow.
I hope.
And apologies for my voice in this one. I was screaming and yelling during that game. We were in the Frontera. We were with them. We were celebrating and everything like that. So
And if you guys must know, he also decided to do a whole shoey.
A whole shoey. Shout out my mom. My mom was saying that my voice is like this because of the shoey. But
put in the comments if you think it is, because I agree.
I don't think my feet are that bad.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of walking going on that day.
Yeah, but guys, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys check us out on Instagram at SDFC Bros and on TikTok at SDFC Bros. We're putting on some special content over there as well. And check out our most recent video on Instagram. We did the whole military appreciation kind of video on there, so make sure you guys show some love on there.
Of course.
But also, Carlos, we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Thank you guys for all 100 people who are watching. We appreciate you every day.
Yeah.
Just listening to us ramble about SDFC soccer, what we love.
Yeah. So, Carlos, let's get right into this. So we were talking about changing the lineup back and forth and everything like that. And we wanted to at least see the same lineup in consecutive games. But in this match, it was once again another change. But I think it was a change for the good, right? We had damn near the same lineup except for the front three, which was Chucky, Dreyer at striker, and then we had Alex Maitin on the right.
Right.
Early on, you like to make your quick observations in the games when the team plays. So kind of in the first kind of opening minutes, what were you kind of thinking?
Yeah, I mean, you could just see a whole change of pace, a whole change of game. I think Mikey kind of cooked really hard and crazy with this formation. You know what's crazy? I think I had a dream about this. I think I said this before, right? Yeah, about this formation. I don't know, but I don't know. Some deja vu moment happened, but no, I think it was really, really, really great. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get more into it but the way that formation came to be really changed the way we play, and I think really really complemented our style of play very, very well. And I think Dreyer, putting him in that striker role completely ignited him.
Yeah, certainly.
And I'm very excited to see. Hopefully, we can continue to do this, because if that's how we're starting off, I'm going to be really excited to see this team play.
Yeah, certainly. It kind of felt like we were watching the San Diego FC of the old, kind of like in the early stages of the season, where we're seeing a San Diego a lot more confident on the ball, and we really saw that in this game going forward. And leading into that first goal, it was that penalty from Chucky, but you got to give a lot of credit to Maitin, who does well to split, once again, two defenders, right? One is not enough. You got to put two on him. So
even then he goes through.
And even though he goes through, and they have to force a mistake out of the opposition.
Yeah, 100%.
So he wins that penalty, and Chucky bags it, making two back-to-back penalties scored with a 100% conversion rate. What are you kind of thinking about this goal leading up and everything like that, and Chucky taking the penalty?
Yeah, no, again, having that Maitin run up, I mean, you saw from the very first beginning, and just having Maitin on that right wing introduces a different player into that striking team.
Right.
I think before, when we were seeing Dreyers on the right, he would just stay a little more to the left, and it'd be going to Chucky more often than none. But having Maitin there allows for both sides to be a way for us to get in. And Maitin surely is going to get past those defenders quickly, confidently, and just continue to keep going and going and going. And so it was just great to see Maitin gets that ball, is confident, is ready to go in and just drives himself into that wedge. Whether or not he's going to score that goal or not, he at least puts us in a position where some foul is going to have to be committed or not. And you just see that. And he gets back up and is ready to go take it. And then Chucky obviously bagging that. And I think we were seeing something that San Diego might be doing.
Yeah, little mind games.
Mind games. But the first time we got a PK, it looked like Dreyers was going to be on the ball. And so it seemed like they were trying to psych it out. And then all of a sudden, Chucky takes it.
Right.
This week, we also see Luca de la Torre sit in there. And we were like, oh, he's going to be the new one. And then all of a sudden, Chucky takes
so
it.
there's some mind games.
So
going on,
I don't know if that's what it is, or there's this power struggle in PKs, but who knows?
Yeah, but going back to that kind of build up into the play, it's really nice seeing Mighton get these opportunities, and when he does have that opportunity to start in this game, this was his second start ever for
100%.
San Diego FC, right? The first one was LAFC, right? And he made a huge difference in that game.
Yeah.
And now in this game, he makes a huge difference, which was a shame because he did get injured. He got subbed out, which really sucked. But kind of just going back to kind of what he brings to the table, which is being dynamic and making sure that he is a nuisance on that right-hand side. Because once again, one defender is not enough to cover him. You need two, and it's going to open up space to everyone in the pitch. So big up Alex Mighton for creating that chance, right? I think he deserves 50% credit for that one.
Right.
But the second goal, thing of beauty. This was something that just looked like it was straight off of the training ground, right? Just the well-worked play from the team, and Dreyer sends in a nice little ball for Chucky, who rounds the goalkeeper and scores his second of the game to put us up 2-0.
Right. So I think amazing goal, beautiful, beautiful goal. And I think what that leads up to, my point that I want to get to the most is that, again, back into that formation, and where we can talk more about it, I believe, is having Dreyers in that middle opens up so much. And I know that consistently, and we have talked about this so many times, me and you have gone back and forth, like, is Chucky that option? Is Chucky that somebody we need? Is that somebody we need? And after today's game, you realize we have a star in Chucky. We were just not utilizing him the way that we were. Okay. We kept sending him and making him feel like he was like he had to be the playmaker and the scorer. Okay. And I believe that was the wrong choice. And having Dreyer in that middle allows us to, again, and we saw this when Valakari came in that it was before the second half. When Valakari comes in, you see that Valakari takes his time when he gets the ball. But when Dreyers was there, grab the ball, turn, and then at those moments you have Mayan or Chucky are freed up to just make that run in the middle, and that's where Chucky shines. Right. He can come from that wing and isn't having to make the whole play, but once he gets the ball, he can move and feel confident. And what we see with that is a confident Dreyer who literally gets the ball and quickly makes that turn amazingly, and he has that striker mentality. Right. So he knows where Chucky's going to be. He knows what's going to happen, and it's a quick turn, boom, straight to goal. Amazing pass, teamwork, link up, goes. And again, Mighton being on that right allows Chucky to make that run, because there has to be another pressure on Mighton where Chucky can come open.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what is important to kind of realize was, we had our comments about Chucky, and I think it was justified for the time, because like how you said, we weren't utilizing Chucky in the best possible position we can. Like you said, he's not really much of a build-up type player. He's more so of the person to kind of get on the ball in the final moments, 100%. Right, in the final third. So I think it was something to really kind of look at in this game, where we utilized it damn near perfectly. And towards, even Chucky got an assist, right, for that Dreyer goal, where we'll get to that later. But what was the difference between Chucky in this game compared to the last one? So was it just strictly position, mental? What were we thinking?
Well, I think Chucky's mentality has always been there, but I think what we have consistently done, and I think what makes it differently, is that the style of play that we were playing before with Chucky was not prone to how we use, like, the best way to using him. Yeah. And again, it's just like we continue to just keep. I shout out to San Diego. SDC Nation, because he brought it up on last game, and he showed like a I guess he drew it up, but like a heat map, I guess. Okay. And you can consistently see that the balls keep going straight to Chucky on that left side, leaving this right side and Dreyer's like completely off. And so what kept happening, at least what I'm seeing, is that these balls keep getting to Chucky. They're asking Chucky to make like a run or something like that, build up a play, and we don't have Valakari is not that player that's going to make that run in the box. And then Dreyer's too far out to make anything. And when we put Dreyer in the middle, it allows Chucky to feel more of a free player and to make a run instead of having to build the play up and then give it to Dreyer. Or even if it does, at this point, Chucky can pass it to Dreyer, have full confidence on Dreyer to be able to push up that ball quickly and with space, and Chucky makes that run in. And I think that's the difference, is for these last few games, we did not know how to play with Chucky.
Yes.
And this time we did. And giving him that opportunity, he goes and bags these goals. He feels more confident. He looks more confident. He's giving that. And again, we talk about he gave that assist. And why does that work? Because you give Chucky that ball, and then he crosses it in to Dreyer, who's there. And it's just...
Yeah, certainly. I think with, Chucky playing good as well in this game, I think it was really important, because I feel like Dreyer just had his fingerprints all over this game, and especially in that first half and even leading into the second half a little bit too. I feel like Dreyer, when you have, for me, the player who has the most quality, right, on the ball in this team, right, where he's able to take the ball right on the half turn or, you know, just make simple little passes here and there.
100%.
The more often he is on the ball, he is going to create some magic.
Right.
And we saw it exactly in this game. And that pass, right, that assist to Chucky for that second goal just encapsulates the type of quality you're going to get from a player like Anders Dreyer going forward.
And then having a left winger like Chucky who has the ability to outpace almost anybody. I think anybody in MLS at this point. It's just perfect. It's a perfect works. It's just we had to take Dreyer out of that corner.
Yeah, now you know, big headache for Mikey Varas, because now with Mayan injured, which really sucks because, you know, everybody right in the San Diego UFC community was like, we need Mayan, we want to see Mayan, we want more of him, right? And we got that. And Mikey Varas said, you know, we want to reward players who are making that difference, right? He gets the start and he gets injured.
How long is he going to be injured for?
Don't know. It looked like he had like a shoulder injury.
So still no report. Still no
report.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm hoping maybe like a week.
Right.
If we can get like a week, that'll be solid. And then that way, you know, when we go to St. Louis or even, you know, when we play Colorado again, we'll have Mike in there as well.
Right.
So,
because I think everybody could agree. I think
we were a lot more fluid with that front three of Chucky, Dreyer, and Mayan.
And I think
CDM.
And we're gonna continue going on to these goals and everything. And I think, but I think what happened there is why we continue to keep scoring is because we had such a strong attack.
Right.
We broke Dallas down.
Right.
We don't, and I personally said it, and I think we talked about this. We don't get a 5-0 if we did not have those starting three.
I agree. I agree with that.
If Mayan's not there, if Dreyer's not there, and Chucky's not there, where we're bagging those goals in first half, and that's where producer Jazz continues to say too, because I know you love your defensive game. You know what I'm saying? But the way that we came out, we were breaking this team down, and this team didn't know how to react, which allowed our style of play to shine because we are going to consistently be attacking that, and that's where we keep getting those 5-0s, but we have to come in early, quickly.
Yeah, it definitely elevated our style of play, and I think we really set the tone
100%.
In the first half. Going into the second half, first half we set the tone, we knew what we had to do, but now the question was, okay, do we kind of play a little bit more conservative? Do we play a little bit more offensively dynamic? And we came into that second half, we didn't take our foot off of the gas.
Exactly.
We just kept going. And Valakari came in for Mayan, like how you were saying. But the style of play, it didn't change, right? No. We kept our foot on the gas. And Dreyer puts our third one of the game with a nice little assist from Chucky, which is really good. And I really like the fluidity in this game. And like I said earlier in the video, this was the SDFC that we've been missing in the last
100%.
couple of games, right? So what were you kind of thinking about, you know, that Dreyer goal, and then on top of that, you know, the beginning of the second half?
Exactly, and I think because I mean, consistently through these last few games, especially Chucky coming in, you have seen a lost Dreyer. You have seen an unmotivated Dreyer, it feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, from the very first game against LA Galaxy when he scored that goal, it was like Dreyer, it's Dreyer. And then slowly he starts like getting lost, faded in that but you still believe in that magic and what's going. And then he would get a ball and, you know, have the ability to almost score, but it just wouldn't be there. So it's almost like confidence wasn't there. But what we see here, because that goal that he scored, he has had closer opportunities to score in many other games and has just not been able to do it. And the fact that he scored that one, it just shows Dreyer had just been lacking confidence.
Certainly.
And putting him in that role where he can get more touches, where he can have control of the game, what comes in and happens, Dreyer gets that ball, you see him on the right side, but you see a more alive Dreyer on that right side. A more determined Dreyer to be running a little bit harder, a little bit faster to get there. And Chucky sees him, gives that pass, and from what I think, like not like 6-yard box, like close to 6 yards, takes a shot, puts it back in there. And again, like I'll say, Dreyer the Dreyer we have seen in the last 3 games doesn't bag those.
Yeah.
A confident Dreyer that Mikey Vadas brought out, which is what we needed, made that goal.
Yeah, certainly. And I think, you know, that type of goal that he scored, that's like his trademark, right? It's like that first time shot where the ball is kind of coming in from behind, but because he is left-footed, you have to like kind of like angle your hips a little bit,
Exactly.
kind of to face the goal, and just a peach of a goal, right?
Right.
From where we were sitting, right, with the frontera, it's like you just see the ball like curl in. So it was just sensational goal from Anders. And like I said, I really like the fluidity in this game. I really thought that we were confident on the ball, and that's, I think, something that we were missing, right? Really tough to kind of come back from 3 L's in a row, right? But what a way to kind of come back and really set the tone and really, stamp that, dominance in this game.
Exactly.
And we're not even done with the goals because we still got two more to call. So, but we did see the new signing, Oscar Verhoeven, come in, and he did a job playing 20 minutes or so for the 18-year-old. So he's third youngest in the team, right behind Saidi and Bambino. So you got Oscar Verhoeven doing his job, and big up to him for kind of making a decent impact in the game.
What I'm liking about Mikey Varas is that when we do get these new players, it's not like we're taking forever to put them in. Mm-hmm. We put them in as soon as we can, which is a little interesting because we do have 2 players that have been signed with us for a really long time.
Right.
It's Saidi and...
Yeah, Saidi hasn't really played a lot.
I don't think has he played?
He played. He did play everything like
yeah.
that, but he was on like international duty with Tunisia and everything like that for the youth team. But regardless of the fact is, to your point, he does give a lot of opportunities to these players, right? Iloski, right, comes in and he's already, making subs and everything like that. And, we'll get to Iloski later because of his impact in the game. But, it's really nice that, these players are just able to slip in to this team like a glove, and it's really to the credit of not only the style of play but the coaching staff as well. So big up Mikey Vadas. We know you're a fan of the podcast, mate, so we know you're watching for sure. But the goals just kept coming, and Valakari grabs the 4th one of the game, and we had a little VAR check, right? The second VAR
and that
check.
was our first ever VAR experience in person.
Second one. From last game versus Arsenal.
Oh, you're right.
VAR check, and now this one.
But
so
our first first ever goal VAR check.
First VAR check goal. So,
sorry,
but
that wasn't.
Regardless of the fact is, Valakari coming in as a sub, and he makes a very good impact in this game, and he grabs a goal. So that's another goal to his game. And for Valakari, that's 11 games, 3 goals, 4 assists. So he is the 3rd biggest goal contributor in the team. So big up to Valakari. What do you kind of think about, kind of the lead up into this goal? And it's another Anders assist.
Right, 100%. And it's just, again, consistently you see a confident Dreyer who is just able to make a play, get in there and give that pass.
Yeah.
Only thing about that is, I get you're under pressure, but Valakari took a crazy shot. I think we could have softly put that in, but at the end of the day, it goes in, can't complain. Yeah. We go forward.
Yeah, certainly. And like I said, Anders' assist, it was really good to see him involved a lot in this game, grabbing a goal and 2 assists.
Right.
So it's really nice to kind of see Anders back on the score sheet, right, involved in the play and everything like that, because there was, a long little time where Anders wasn't really getting involved in this play, but like how you said, right, in this position, he really just had his fingerprints all over this game. So big up.
And I think
Anders.
it's 100% just confidence. He just really needed that boost.
Yeah, I think so as well. I agree with that. And lastly, finally, we're over these goals. The 5th goal, Milan Iloski.
Right, the only Milan you can be proud of now, right?
Well, we won today. We won today. We got a W. So the second Milan that I have in my heart. Born and bred in Escondido, gets his first goal of the season. And how nice was it to see him do a little badge
100%.
kiss? The pictures after that, oh my God, holy shit. The pictures after that were so hard. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's our first badge kiss. Badge kiss from a player.
Yeah,
and of
first
course,
badge kiss.
Amazing to know that it's a San Diego native, born and bred San Diego native. And you could just see in his face and his eyes when he grabbed that, he kissed it and meant it. It was like, this is my team, this is my hometown. I am playing for a reason, and that's consistently what we want from these players is to represent that city with
have that passion.
That passion, like they're one of us.
Yeah, Nordjylland, we love you, but honestly, I kind of want us to sign him.
I really enjoy him.
Not only born and bred San Diego, but you see the quality that he brings in these types of matches where it's like, it's kind of the later stages of the game, 87th minute, but you still see that quality being shown in the later stages of the game where it's like you're still able to make that impact off of the bench, and you're still able to still cause trouble for the opposition defense. So
exactly. going to be tough because he's going to be fighting against Tomas Angal.
Yeah. So that kind of begs the question, right? With Maitin injured, right? Does the front three, do we go Chucky, Dreyer, Iloski? Do we go Chucky, Dreyer?
I think we might have to throw. Angal? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I think we need to truly take Dreyer out of that right mid.
Yeah. So you want to see him striker going forward? I think
I want to see him striker going forward.
Okay.
I think Iloski can take that right mid. I don't know about Tomas Angal at that moment, but I think what Dreyer was doing as a striker position was, I think here playing in the MLS, it's going to fit him a lot better than playing on that right side.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, kind of this is something that I really wanted to credit was the defense. 100%. For me, the defense, and this is something I'm going to go on tangents about this whole season. The defense made me proud today. And I really want to give a special shout out to CJ Dos Santos. I had my, criticisms in the last episode where I was like, oh, maybe he could be doing better. But, the saves that he had to come up with today, or in Saturday, the game versus Saturday, he came up big and he really had a presence. Bambino as well. I feel like Bambino with these, couple games that he's been coming in, right, for Negri, not really sure what's the problem with Negri.
The situation there.
Probably injured or something like that, but Bambino has been coming up big in this one. So Bambino, bravo con tutti questo partite, avanti così. So...
Well, he said Bambino because we love you, man. So, you're killing it. At 18 years old, I couldn't be doing yours. I was working at a taco shop, man. So big ups to you being able to get against these men, man, and putting your everything out there on the line and holding our back line.
McVay, McNair, obviously just a solid pairing. They're really, I think, starting to gain that chemistry, right, in that back line, right? These last couple games, right, we were conceding a lot of goals, but I think in this game it kind of just is a reminder, whereas it's like as long as you just keep that center back pairing together, right, the more chemistry you're just going to build. And then Willie on that side, I know there's been a lot of question marks with Willie. Not really sure how my kind of analysis is on Willie, because I think there's been a lot of times where he's been really good. Like his highs are really high and his lows are really low. But regardless of the fact is, Willie does put in that shift. Maybe I want to see a little Lawful Send in there to just kind of see where his level's at, because again, we haven't really seen Lawful Send in these last couple of games. Right. But regardless of the fact is, I want to credit the defense for a sensational game. Another clean sheet, so that's always a bonus. So with that being said, let's go to match ratings. What are we saying for this game?
Yeah,
don't give me some nonsense.
No. I think, God, man, I like an 8, man. 8.5. Okay. One of our best games to, I think better than the LAFC game, respectfully. And I was just back and forth, but to consistently keep going in 5-0 and you just can't. You just can't. And the way we started this game just carried it on to the rest of the half. And I was scared. I'm not going to lie to you. I was scared once Valkyrie came in, it would become back to basics. But again, because I feel Dreyer was so confident, he was able to just play that right mid role more confident. And I've done what I could in the first half, and let me just sit there and play my role correctly. And it just, man, it was an 8 game, and it just enjoyable from the beginning to the very end.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I'm going to say a 9.
Yeah.
Not so much a 10, because I think there were some mistakes here and there, but regardless of the fact is, I'm going to say a 9, just because not only the attacking presence was very visible, right? I mean, 5 goals to show, and Chucky really came up big in this game after some criticism from the fans as well, not only just us but from other people as well, right? Dreyer kind of getting back to his ways where he's getting on the score sheet, he's involved in all things, right? Goals and assists, right? And not only that, for me, I think the big thing that I think we're really kind of missing, 5 goals here and there. The clean sheet is something that we really have to kind of consider, because our last clean sheet was when, real quick, I know you're looking at the scores right now.
Right, our last clean sheet was Seattle.
So that was what, 4 games ago?
4 games ago.
So 4 games ago, 4 weeks, almost a month, we haven't kept a clean sheet. So we got to really look at that clean sheet and really just, take it and run with it. So I'm going to say a 9 out of 10 for this game.
Yeah, and to your point, we played a Dallas who has not lost an away game at all.
Wow,
so,
that's a great stat.
just to think about that, it was crazy. Dallas was coming in, had not lost 1 away game, and we were
beat Inter Miami.
And they beat away. So
away from home as well.
So again, Dallas came in with that momentum behind them to come in here.
Right, yeah, especially, great fucking stat, Carlos.
Yeah,
that is lovely jubbly. So, producer Jazz, what are we saying for match rating? What are we saying?
It was a great game, but like Carlos says, you want to rate on a gymnastics level, right? And I've once asked you guys, what is a 10 out of 10 game? And you guys gave me like a 5 clean sheet. So I'm going to go with Vince and say 9 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
only because it's still early. We were complaining like how we wanted them to play, and I think they came and delivered. It was amazing.
Fairs. Very well produced.
Can I change mine? I think 9, not that bad. No, 8.59 like that. I just don't have any. Your critiques are right. Yeah.
We'll change it. I'll ask the production team. But anyways, our next match, right? Preview for our next match is St. Louis away. St. Louis is third from bottom, but get this, they have the second best defense in the West.
Right.
So that's kind of weird, right? They're third from bottom, but they're second best defense. So they don't score a lot of goals, right?
Right.
But I think...
I guess it showed it was our second game when we played against them, but it showed 0-0, kind of hard to break them.
Yeah.
We played, and I don't think they'll couldn't come and break us either. It was one of those boring games.
Yeah, we always knew that St. Louis was kind of like not necessarily a powerhouse, but they were a respectable opponent, right? We knew the quality going in. They were a very tactical side as well. So I think they're definitely a respectable opponent. And look, they're at home for this game, right? When we played them last, we were at home, right? That 0-0 that you mentioned. But, their last game versus Seattle, a 4-1 loss. So I think that's something to kind of look at. They were away from home as well. And their last 2 fixtures were a 0-0 against top of the table Vancouver, right? So that's a W in my book, right? And then you go a 2-2 versus LAFC, and then like I said, the 4-1 versus Seattle. So what are your kind of thoughts going into this game versus St. Louis? We're away.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on formation at this point. Realistically, 100%. It shows and it's clear that we have a team that can take on any team at this point. Right. I believe if you're being able to beat a team 5-0, that's something to be proud of. That's something to be talked about through and through. So it shows. It's the reality is we have a team, and I don't even want to sit here and say Dallas played a bad game because they didn't. We just 100% overplayed them. I truly believe. Okay. It's not like Dallas didn't come to show up. Like when we were playing Seattle, like you could just tell Seattle was just in the mud, or when we played LA Galaxy.
Okay.
But Dallas did show up. They had some opportunities. It just you could clearly see.
Played very well.
You could clearly see San Diego played very well.
Yeah.
So the truth is here, San Diego does have a team. Yeah. We do have, but it really comes down to how Mikey Vadas is going to be playing these teams. Yeah. And if we keep going back to the formations that we're just random or not using Chucky to the best of his abilities, I say we walk out of this game 1-0, maybe a 0-0, respectfully. Okay. But if we go into the formation that we went into that game, not Mayan, but still Dreyer's in that middle and still come out forward attacking, I think we can crush his opponent and be a 2-1, 2-0.
Okay, so you think as long as Dreyer is kind of in the focal point of our attack, you think we're going to grab a result?
100%. And I think I keep going down to the reason, I think if we put Dreyer on that right side, what happens, because Chucky is that pivotal player at that point, because we're not going to play Valakari that much, those balls, because again, Valakari gets that ball and then just slightly turns. And then Chucky gets lost having to make these games and these plays, and we don't have that. The moment we put striker there, not only do we open up the game, not only do we make it runs happen, but we truly get a confident Dreyer, a Dreyer who wants to play the game that he clearly loves and enjoys, and he wants to be part in every single thing, and I think that's our key.
Yeah, certainly. I 1,000% agree with you. As long as Dreyer is kind of in the focal point of that attack where he's able to have as many touches on the ball and he's not isolated on that right-hand side, right? Where we need to kind of have him on the ball to create those instances and to create those opportunities and to really, I want him to play with Chucky, right? Because
100%.
when he's on that right-hand side, they're not really able to link up play together. Right. So when you have both of your top quality players right next to each other, they're going to create something. And I mean, in this game, right, versus Dallas, they created, loads of opportunities. So I'm hoping versus a struggling St. Louis, right? Second best defense in the league is something that we got to kind of look at, right? But they also have, I think, the worst attack. Actually tied with LA Galaxy, right?
That's crazy,
so they have only scored 8 goals this season. Right. So I think that's kind of something to look at.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with you too. And then just to add in there again, we have had at least 5 games with Chucky or
we've had 8 games.
eight games with Chucky.
Yeah, 4 goals, 4 assists.
You put, and just saying this, just to say, the moment Dreyer comes into that striker position and can link up with Chucky, we have not seen a pass to Chucky so beautifully done.
Yeah.
And again, to the ability of Chucky, consistently over the top to Chucky, right at his feet, this and that. What Dreyer brought in that striker was what Chucky has been wanting from the team 100%. And Dreyer knew.
Yeah.
Dreyer knew how to give that pass. Dreyer knew what to do because that's the pass he'd want if he was on that right side.
Yeah.
And so that's the reality. We unlock a really good chemistry.
Yeah.
That chem point, if you were to put a little FIFA graphic right here, that's at a green link right there.
Green link, yeah, I 100% agree. So yeah, I'm going to say a 1-0, right? Just because of the fact that, they don't score a lot of goals, but they don't concede a lot of goals as well. So I'm going to say a 1-0. I think it's going to be a close one, but I think we do come away with the result, especially if Dreyer is in that focal point of attack. So, guys, that's it. Loads of stuff to kind of break down. But guys, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at SDFC Bros and TikTok at SDFC Bros as well. Carlos, last time was my week. I'm going to throw it back to you again for this one. What are we saying?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you. I think as San Diego fans, we can just continue to tell you how amazing and how much love we have for this team. And I know we kind of came back from these 3 losses and we continue to just be sad and everything, but throughout the game, throughout the days, just hope was still alive. Vince ended it last week saying, still stick here, still stick by, and you showed us again why we fell in love with you guys, because not only did you guys come back, not only did this team come back with a 1-2-0 win, it was a 5-0 win, just saying, look who we are.
Yeah.
Continue to remember this name. We are not going to go away anywhere. And it's just continuously. And then what San Diego FC is doing, what we had for Military Night, I think that was a really special moment as well too. Night. San Diego has and always will be a military town, and the fact that we were able to get that out and enjoy that with the fans was amazing. And again, just keep pushing forward. The season's long, but man, are we excited to keep this going.
Yeah. Very, very well said, Carlos. Guys, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao ragazzi.